All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise facing the east to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raka'ak Wadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Adawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right, this is Sunday evening camp. Coming at you the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua with an edifying lesson. Lord willing, to be edifying unto the body and to the sincere believers. All right, so we're going to get started off with the book of... let me get 1 Samuel. I think it was chapter... let's see, chapter... This is going to be 1 Samuel chapter 8, starting at the top. Verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. 3. And his sons walked not in his ways." Whose ways? Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai's ways. The ways that our forefathers walked in. But turned aside after lucre. So, and took bribes and perverted judgment. So they chased after money, condoned bribery and perverted judgment, okay? They say that the love of money is the root of all evil, as the scriptures say, okay? Money is meant to be a defense, okay? It's not meant to be something to be relied on. Verse 4, "Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah." Verse 5, "And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." And that right there is the problem with Israel, even unto this very day. Okay, make us a king to judge us, to rule over us just like the other nations, right? Well, look what Esau Edom has set up for in this system. These so-called presidents. And the word president goes back to emperor, okay? Roman emperor. So what do our people be doing in society nowadays? They be putting in their votes, voting for who they want to be the next ruler, okay? And the scriptures say, woe unto him that put his trust in man, okay? And his strong arm, okay? Putting your trust in man and his technology, his military, and his ways of doing things, his philosophy, all right? Verse 6, "But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not received thee, but they have rejected me, and that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods. So do they also unto thee. Now therefore, hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them." Okay, so Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai pretty much told Samuel, okay, give them what they want. Give them what they want, okay? Since they keep rejecting me and they don't want to turn to me for the answers or for guidance, okay? Give them what they want. Give them a king, all right? And that's what Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai has done in this time, okay? For the 2/3, he says, okay, since you don't want to put your faith and trust in me and would rather put your faith and trust in man, go ahead. Go ahead. You know, basically saying, fuck you then. After all I've done for you, and this is what you do to me. Okay? Okay, let's see here. Let's see. So again, you know, we're not supposed to put our faith and trust in man or his system. Okay? We're not supposed to be like these other nations. Okay? Isaiah 31:1. And it says, woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. You know, the military, the soldiers, and their weaponry, their technology. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Okay? So, and it says, verse 2, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Okay? So, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to rise up against the evildoers and those that help him within their iniquity. The 2/3, okay? You join hand in hand with the enemy against your own people, so you're going to get it. You are going to get it. And rightfully so. And the rest of us, the 1/3, the hopeful elect, we will not shed a single tear for you because we do not care. You get what you deserve. Verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not God. Okay? These are men, mortal men. Okay? They're not the power. They're not the Most High. And their horse is flesh and not spirit. Okay? So, their technology, you know, everything that they got, you know, it's nothing compared to what the Lord can do or what the Lord has. So, why rely on something that the Lord made rather than relying on the Lord himself? Okay? This is his program. This is his story. And it says, when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and when he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. Okay? So those that work iniquity and those that help them in the iniquity, they're going to fall together. All right? Everything that you work so hard to build up in this place, it's all going to come crumbling down. Let's see. In fact, let me get Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. And it says, the matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So Daniel 4 and 17, the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay? He is in control of everything. Okay? He's the one that sets up who. In fact, I'm just gonna finish it. And it says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over at the basis of men. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, he's the one that put Esau in the power seat, not Esau himself. Even though Esau thinks he did it all by himself, but no, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is the one that put him in that position. Because Esau, Edom, his role is to be the wicked and to be the whipping stick on the left-hand side, to teach us Israelites a lesson. Okay, to not go against our Heavenly Father and His commandments. Now, let's see here. All right, let me get 2nd Esdras. This is right here, 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 2. And it says, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay. Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And we see the end being manifested before our eyes. Hurricane Beryl destroying, tearing up Houston, leaving a lot of people without power. And this heat over here in Vegas has left 18,000 people without power. Okay, this heat can it can mess with the technology. Okay, and you have what happened to Trump during that rally at Pennsylvania, getting grazed by a bullet in the back of his ear. Even though we all know that's all staged, that's all to distract the people. We all know that the elites and those that are in positions of power, that they've been practicing and, rehearsing this shit just to distract the people and manipulate them and to brainwash them into thinking that this is what's going on right now. This is the truth. Okay? Because of all of that mess, it's only gonna bring civil war that much closer. Okay? The red against the blue, the haves and the have-nots. Democrats against Republicans, plebeians against patricians, just like it was back in the old Roman days. Okay? While we're all being distracted by this bullshit, we're not paying attention to what's really going on, because all these other nations, they're gearing up for war. Okay? They already have their sleeper cells here. They're just waiting for the command to get started with tearing shit up. All right. And especially our people who think everything's gonna be okay, thinking everything is, that America has been through much worse. We've always found a way to bounce back. Well, guess what? America is not bouncing back from this. Never has, and it never would. This is it. America's on its last legs. And it says right here, this is Amos chapter 5. It's going to be starting at verse 13. And it says, therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. And who's the prudent? Lord willing, that be us. And the hopeful elect, the prophets and the sincere believers. Okay? We're going to keep silence in that time, because the Lord's going to make our tongue cleave to the roof of our mouth. Okay? Because there's going to come a time when us men out here on the highways and byways, we're not going to be around here for much longer. Okay? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to close this truth off for good. And then at that point in time, it's going to be too late. Verse 14, seek good and not evil, that ye may live. And so the Lord, the power of hosts, shall be with you as ye have spoken. Okay, so seek what's good. And what's good is what comes out of this book. Okay? And not only that, but to stay out of trouble, abide by the laws of this land to the best of your ability until the laws of this land are no longer holding this place together. Verse 15, it says, hate the evil and love the good. Excuse me. Let me start over. Amos 5 and 15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Excuse me. And the remnant is talking about the elect. And of Joseph, his descendants, which are Manasseh and Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom, starting with Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, the Latinos, and Native Americans and Seminole Indians. Okay, verse 16. Therefore the Lord, the power of hosts, the Lord saith thus, wailing shall be in the streets, and they shall say in the highways, in all the highways, alas, alas, and they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. Verse 17, and in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. Okay? So in that day, there's going to be wailing in the streets. Why? Because there's going to be mass death. Okay? People, once all hell breaks loose, people are going to be losing loved ones, family, friends, acquaintances, co-workers, people that you hang out with, people that you know in general, even people that you don't know. There's going to be bodies everywhere. Okay? If you think you've seen death, if you think the death rate is bad right now, you have no idea. These people have no idea. Okay, and it says verse 18, and people and also in the vineyards, your own land, there's going to be wailing. Okay? People are going to be mourning, whether they be at home, work, wherever. There's going to be mourning and death everywhere. Okay? People are going to be crying and wailing. Why would God do this? Why is this happening? Why? Okay, and I'm going to get a scripture here soon. It says, verse 18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Okay? Darkness, meaning it's going to be an evil time, a bad time. So why would you desire that day? Okay? That's going to be a day of nothing but judgment. Okay? Death on a massive scale, the likes of which this world has never seen. Okay? The sword, famine, pestilence, wild beasts. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So no matter where you go, okay, you may escape one judgment, and as soon as you escape that one, there may be another one waiting for you right around the corner. And even if you manage to get away from that one, there's another judgment right there. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai always has a contingency plan, a backup plan. Okay, you escaped that. Okay, let's see if you can get away from this. Okay, you got away from that. Try and get away from this. Okay? There is no escaping him. Okay? Verse 20. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Okay? So, it's going to be a complete nightmare out here. And we may sound like a broken record when we say these things, but guess what? We're going to keep saying it until, it finally sinks in. If the Lord is dealing with you, if he's working with you, if he wants you to be a part of his, if he wants you to get it, if he's opened your mind to receive this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But if not, then, oh well. It's just business. All right, and it says here, verse 20, I despise your feast days. Okay, talking about these modern day pagan holidays, like the 4th of July that just passed not too long ago, like a week ago, and all these other holidays. Okay, these modern day holidays go back to pagan rituals. Okay, and the Lord tells you not to deal with the ways of the heathen. Okay. But yet our people just continue not to listen. And it says, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. 22, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. 23, take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. Verse 24, but let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. So in the midst of all these worldly celebrations, these pagan rituals, these holidays, and the such, the singing, the dancing, the celebration, all that, judgment's just going to come out like a flood, man. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to put a stop to all of it. This day, it's not going to be the time for fun and games anymore. It's not going to be that time anymore. In fact, it's never been the time for fun and games. Okay? This is not the time for that shit. Verse 23, or verse 20. In verse 25, it says, have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? 26, but ye have borne the tabernacles of your Moloch and your Chiun your images, and shown your images the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. All right? We've been following after the ways of the other heathen. Imitating their ways, making idols out of wood and stone or whatever, putting other people upon a pedestal, because when you call someone your idol, you're idolizing them. You're making them seem like they're superior to you, like you make them to be like this big time celebrity or wonderful or person that just seems to be better than everybody else, You make it seem like they're some type of supernatural being. When not, they're just an ordinary person like everybody else. It says, verse 27, therefore will I cause you to go into captivity beyond Damascus, saith the Lord, whose name is the power of hosts. Okay? So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because of our unrighteous dealings and rebellion, the Lord had to give us that harsh ass whooping, which is captivity. Being under the boot of another nation. And this right here, being under the boot of Esau, Edom, this has been the most harsh and the worst captivity we've ever been in. Okay? This has been the worst one. And, it'll be the last. And Lord willing that we get out of here on the first go around. Okay? Let's see, this is going to be Amos chapter 8. Let's see. It's Amos 8 and 7. And it said, the Lord hath sworn by the excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of their works. 8, verse 8, shall not the land tremble for this? And everyone mourn that dwelleth therein? And it shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned as by the flood of Egypt. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. I will turn your feasts into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Okay? So again, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, in the midst of everybody's moral stupidity, the Lord is going to bring everything to a close. He's going to just, whenever the Lord decides to put the spirit on Esau, Edom to shut the grid down, take away, shut the grid down around the country, Everyone has no electricity, no running water. Okay, they can't go, and the banks shut down, so nobody can't go get their money. Nobody can't, continue on in normalcy. People are going. What you take away any convenience away from everybody, especially you take away people's phones and the internet. People are gonna lose it. If you've seen the movie, what's that movie? I can't think of it right now. And I've seen the movie before, and I just can't think of the name of it. But one of the other movies that I've noticed is The Mist, where those group of people were stuck inside that store, and those creatures were out in that mist. Okay, they had no, their electricity wasn't working, their phones weren't working, so they couldn't contact anybody, and everybody started becoming primitive, thinking that everything was the end, and people were panicking. Okay, that's one of the movies, but I can't think of that. I think the other movie was called Blackout. I think it's the name of it, but basically, where everything stopped. The electricity, the running water, technology, the internet, everything just stopped working. And at that point in time, that's when you realize, people resort to a more primitive way of life. And, verse 10, and I read verse 10. Verse 11, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So, once the famine of the word hits, and things start getting really bad, people are going to be thinking back to those so-called clowns on the streets that were preaching and teaching the Bible. They're going to think on that. They're going to think on that time as like, those guys were telling the truth this whole time. They were telling us that this was going to happen, yet we didn't listen. So they're going to go wandering from sea to sea, up, down, left, right, wherever, just to try and find them. And even if you do find a prophet that you've seen on one of the social media platforms, and you question him, why is this all happening? What's going on? Or, they're not gonna tell you shit. Why? Because you had the opportunity to listen when they were out there on the highways and byways, day after day. You had the chance to listen, but you just kept mocking and scoffing, laughing, thinking that we were just blowing smoke out our ass. You didn't think we knew what we were talking about. You call us conspiracy. You call us those sea theorists. You everything that we told you. Now all of a sudden you realize that we weren't lying to you. You realize that we were not crazy. You realize that we were telling you the truth the whole time. Now all of a sudden you want to come to us for answers. It's too late. You're on your own. In verse 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Okay? So the young women and the young men are going to faint. They're going to faint for this. Okay? In fact, let me get let's see. Okay, so let me see. This is going to be Isaiah 4:1. And this is what's going to happen. This is what Isaiah 4:1, and it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So in that day, because a lot of these worldly men are gonna die, they are, and you're gonna see the true savagery that's gonna come out in these worldly men. Okay, and a lot of these Captain Save-A-Hoes, even these men are gonna become savages. The simps, the simps right now, they're learning to stand up for themselves because they're tired of the bullshit that you wouldn't be playing. Okay? You women have had your freedom and liberty to gad abroad and do as you please long enough. Okay? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is tired of this. He's tired of it. And so are these men. Even the heathen men can see past your bullshit. Even the heathen men don't want to have nothing to do with you. So how much more an Israelite man? And I'm going to read it again. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So they will eat our own bread, meaning they will learn to, cook, wear our own apparel, wear that which pertaineth unto a woman, and only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So they'll be looking for that man that can give them something to live for. Women will be so scared shitless that they'll be put right back in their proper place, because that's what is going to get them in order, is to scare the shit out of them. Okay? Scare that pride, that masculine spirit out of them. Because if you really think about it, when you scare someone enough, you can get them to submit. That's why fear is a requirement in this truth. You have to have fear. Fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. If you don't fear him, well, guess what? He's going to make you. He's going to make you fear him. So, a lot of brothers, you may have wives or girlfriends or whatever right now. Trust me. If they're giving you a hard time right now, I can guarantee you, or if you just got rid of them, or whatever the case may be, when it comes to dealing with these women, especially here in the West, I can guarantee you in that day, when they're so scared out of their damn minds, they're going to come running right back to you. I wouldn't accept any one of them. It's like, no, you thought you could do it without me. You said I ain't shit. You said I'm nothing. You said I'm a broke dick nigga, so go on. You don't need me, right? You can do bad all by yourself. Okay? And here's another thing too. Let's see. Go into Isaiah chapter 3. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 18. And it says, in that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon. Verse 19, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets of the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, and the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples of the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen, and the hoods and the veils. Verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell there shall be a stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Okay? So you women that are all about, being bad, looking good, having all that expensive jewelry, being clean, smelling good, living like what you would call to be a queen, trying to have the best shit and always looking good. The Lord's gonna have you looking like shit out here. Okay? Take away all that makeup, all that fake shit. You know, you women are going to be looking really terrible out here. Terrible. Dirty, stinky, smelly. Teeth falling out. Some teeth are dirty. Going to be smelling bad. Probably have diseases. You know, you know, and it's going to be in that day we're going to be laughing at you. Just like how you be laughing at us. Well, guess what? We're going to be laughing at you. Verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So, all these men that are out here in the world, that are prepping because that think they're big and bad, and that are prepping and shit, and that are in the military, they're all gonna die. And what are you women gonna have? What are you women gonna do when your husband gets sent off to war? What are you gonna do when your sons, your daughters get sent to war and you're left at home? At that point, you're ripe for the picking. You are ripe for the picking. Because when these foreign soldiers, these sleeper cells get activated, guess what? These men that have been crossing the border, they want a piece of you American women. And they're gonna get their piece. Verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So you women are gonna be put in a position of complete and utter shame. 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 All you prideful women, especially of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, and the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the other nations that look like the other nations. Y'all are gonna get it really bad. And Lord willing that us hopeful elects, that we are not numbered amongst you, that we, that we receive mercy and ultimately salvation, that the Lord be with us. Because we've separated ourselves from society. We don't care about this place. We don't want to have nothing to do with this place. Fuck this place. And I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 5. And it says right here in verse 25, therefore is the anger of the Lord kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Okay? So even though Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is sending forth judgment right now, he's angry, but yet he still has his hand stretched out. He still is giving you that opportunity. Even though he's pissed right now, he's still giving you the opportunity to turn back to him and to repent. Okay? For what little time we have left, he still has his hand stretched out. He's still willing to give you a chance. And yet you people want to continue to turn your back to him and keep doing your own thing. And eventually the Lord is just going to say, okay, bye. Okay? As the scriptures say, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. It is a fearful thing. Okay? He's the one that made you. He knows your spirit. He knows how you work. He knows what you do. He knows your thought before you even think it. Verse 26, and he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them at the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. Verse 27, none shall be weary, nor stumble amongst them. None shall slumber, nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latch of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. 29, their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions. Yeah, they shall roar and lay hold of the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. Verse 30, and in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea. And if one look unto the land, behold, darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened in the heavens thereof. Okay, so, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to use Esau's own people as well as Moab. He's going to use Elam. He's going to use Ishmael to bring about judgment upon America. Okay? But first and foremost, he's going to bring mostly the judgment upon you Israelites, you 2/3. That's why it's known as Jacob's trouble, because this is where Jacob is going to get his most harsh ass whooping. Okay? Even the elect and us hopeful elect, we're going to go through some shit. We're not going to be looking all fine and dandy out here. We're going to be looking like the fucking Walking Dead. Beat up, scarred, tired, wearied, sleeping with one eye open, having a chip over our shoulder. Okay, we're not going to have no rest, no ease of mind during that time, because people are going to be out here just restless, looking for someone or something. Okay? That's what it's like being in a survival of the fittest scenario. You're not going to have the time to rest as long as you want. You're going to have to learn to be in one spot for a moment, and then you're going to have to move. Okay? Okay? That's why, we have to get our spirit right in this, get our mind right, because we're going to go through it. We're going to go through that fire, and it's going to hurt. This is Isaiah. This is going to be the This is going to be the book of Isaiah again. It's going to be chapter 19. Verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, which is a chariot, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Yahweh Shai is going to come, and he's going to destroy the idols of this place, the places of worship, and the people in the midst of it are going to, as it says, Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. The heart of Egypt, the mind, the people are going to, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is just going to destroy this place and the people in it. Okay? Melt with that fervent heat. Verse 2, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, like I said, with the whole incident that happened at the Trump rally, we know that the elites, we know what their purpose is. They're trying to get this place to completely, bring out that, that order ab chaos, order out of chaos, right? And you can see on a certain YouTube page called Cash Jordan, he goes into how, look at the state of New York right now. You have so-called Latino gangs arming migrants with weapons, having migrants and, secretly, transporting weapons into these migrant shelters. So think about that, man. This is all setting up for mass death and bloodshed. There's going to be a war out here. Okay? Once that time comes, expect bodies to drop. Like that one song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. I love that song. But yeah, it's by the band Drowning Pool, I believe. Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. And that's exactly what's going to happen. This is not a joke. And it said, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. So people are going to be, so the Lord's going to destroy the councils, which means, their wise men, their secret meetings, their summits and whatnot. And people are going to seek unto their idols, calling out to Buddha, Allah, or Jesus, or whoever. And it's not going to do you. It's not going to do you any good. And to the charmers, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. So basically to magicians, diviners, so-called psychics, like they're supposed to know what's going on when they don't know a damn thing. Yeah, people are going to be looking to, these people that are so cut up into the world, they're going to be looking to those people for answers. Those so-called spiritual people that can talk to spirits or contact the dead. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, this place is just like how Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of Sodom and Gomorrah. And this place is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, because look at the alphabet crew. And the majority of the military, I wouldn't say the majority of the military, but a lot of people in the military, they're part of the alphabet crew. A bunch of sissies, a bunch of fruitcakes. Okay? And these are the men that you have in Babylon, aka America's military. When you look at the Russian military and the Chinese military, Koreans, as well as the Iranians and the other nations that are neighboring by, they're training their men to be soldiers, men of war. Okay, they're training their men to be hard, tough, disciplined, cold-hearted, meaning that they'll kill without mercy. They'll kill without a second thought. They're not going to give a shit. I mean, look at what's going on right now in fucking Gaza. The Israeli soldiers, if you've been watching, you can watch Al Jazeera English, that YouTube channel. These Israeli soldiers are killing these people in Gaza like it's just fun. Like it's fun for them just to take down one Palestinian. It's fun. Just think about when these foreign soldiers, when they start taking over, they're going to be killing you Americans like it's fun. Oh, look at that right there. An American man and his family. Blam, blam, blam. Drop all three of them. The man, the woman, and the child or the children. So, you people really have no idea you people really have no idea just how bad it's going to be here. let's see. Let's see. So give me a second here. Let me go back to 2nd Esdras. Oh, actually, hold on. Ezekiel. Was it 28? No. See, I know I had it somewhere. I'm just gonna go right here to the book of Ezekiel. It's gonna be chapter 23. And it says, let me start at the top, and it says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were 2 women, the daughters of one mother. Verse 3, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. And the names of them were Aholah the elder, and Aholibah her sister, and they were mine. And they bare sons and daughters. Thus were their names: Samaria is Aholah, and Jerusalem is Aholibah. So Aholah is Samaria, which represents the northern kingdom, Ephraim, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Jerusalem, Aholibah, which is the southern kingdom, the so-called Negroes. And what did we do? We went a-whoring after the other nations, okay, following after their ways, spiritual adultery and idolatry, okay, committing and dedicating ourselves to their gods, as well as even our own women, our own, and Israelite women, they're not supposed to be with another man other than an Israelite man. Okay? And it says right here, verse 4, just like like I said in verse 3, and it says, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. So like a young woman, they've been giving themselves, just like a young woman, they've been giving themselves up, giving their bodies up, to be, ravished by these men. We've been tainted by these other nations and their ways. Okay? Just coming in and going, right? In verse 5, and it says, Aholah, which is the northern kingdom, played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians, her neighbors. So remember, the Assyrians took the northern kingdom and some part of the southern kingdom, but mainly the northern kingdom. Verse 6, which were clothed with blue captains and blue rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. So, they were, those that were clothed in that blue captains and rulers and all that, those were men of like royalty, high status. They looked good. They had on that goodly apparel. And, to the northern kingdom at the time, they thought, wow, they look good. Let's go see what they're all about. Just like how a harlot, when she sees a young, a well-established and clean man and finds him attractive, she's gonna go see what he's all about. He looked like he got some money. He looked like he got something. It's the same thing. So, verse 7. Thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted. With all their idols she defiled herself. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt. For in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredoms upon her. So, just like a prostitute, just, getting slammed, getting defiled. It's just in a spiritual sense, man. Okay? Because all the nation of Israel, the people of the Lord, were his woman. Okay? Spiritually, we're his woman. Okay? And for us to turn our back on him, that's like a woman turning her back on her husband. As the scriptures say, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh said, I am married unto you. I am married unto you, Israel. You. I am married unto you. And by us turning our back on him, that's... And look at the state of Israel right now. The majority of our people just stuck out in the world, committing all sorts of abomination, not just, just following after other gods and idolizing the heathen, these celebrities and all that, chasing after the bag. The whoredom of Israel is just completely and absolutely disgusting. This place is fucking disgusting. Our people, 2/3 of our people are disgusting. In verse 9, wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians upon whom she doted. So eventually the Assyrians took over the northern kingdom. Verse 10, these discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword. And she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her. Verse 11, and when her sister Aholibah, which is the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she. So the southern kingdom was more wicked, more abominable than the northern kingdom. And so, let's see, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. She doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captains and rulers, clothed mostly gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms. For when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans, which are the Babylonians, portrayed with vermilion, girded with the girdles upon their loins, succeeding in dyed attire upon their heads, all of them princes to look to, after the manner of the Babylonians of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. Verse 16, as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them, and sent messengers unto them unto Chaldea. So that's where the southern kingdom went into captivity under Babylon, under Nebuchadnezzar. All right? So the northern kingdom got taken by Assyria, the southern by Babylon. And the Babylonian Empire, and the Babylonians, they came into power after the Assyrians. Okay? So, just look at where we're at right now. This is nothing new under the sun. After all the captivities we've been in, going after all these other countries and their ways, doting after their goodly apparel, their nice possessions and all that, it's the same shit here. All right, so now this right here just goes to show you that we are and let's see here, this is Zechariah chapter 12. I'm going to start at Zechariah chapter 12, verse 8. And it says, and the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah, saying, verse 9, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassions, every man to his brother. Verse 10, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. Verse 11, but they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Verse 12, yet they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath of the Lord of hosts. Okay? So, Going back to verse 9. Execute true judgment. Show mercy and compassion, every man to his brother. Okay? To give out people's judgment. Okay? To practice compassion and charity. Okay? To be like Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Give forth the judgment. Show compassion. Show merciful. Okay? Be humble. And because of this, because, they wouldn't listen to the former prophets, Lord willing that we are those men of old, then came the wrath of the Most High, because they chose to, to be rebellious, to pull away the shoulder. Like, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to go with you. I don't want to be with you. Okay? And that's the problem with today's society. That is the problem. Verse 13, therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, saith the Lord of hosts. So when the prophet cried, when the Lord, through his prophets, when he cried, the people didn't listen. So when they cried for, mercy and, to be delivered from their trouble, the Lord didn't hear them. Hey, you don't want to listen to me? Fine, I won't listen to you. Verse 14, but I scattered them with a whirlwind among all nations, whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through, nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. Okay, so these other nations, they came and took Israel and scattered us. Okay, some of the northern kingdom, when the so-called Europeans, Esau, Edom, when he came over here, and he saw that the northern kingdom was over here, when he took them over, he had some of the northern kingdom, he had some of the northern kingdom transferred, transported on those ships back to Europe and some other places too. And the southern kingdom came over here by ships from the coast of West Africa. Okay, and even some of them were scattered amongst these other lands, not just here, but the bulk of the tribes are here in the Americas: Canada, North America, Mexico, Central America, and South America, and the Caribbean islands. The bulk of us is here, but still, some of our people are scattered in all those other nations, all those other countries. So so we were brought into lands to where we knew nothing of. We knew nothing of these people, their culture, their language. We knew nothing of them. Okay, we were just brought over there to what? To be slaves, because of what we've done. That was our punishment. So, this being the last captivity, and Lord willing that, I myself, as well as you sincere Akim wa Akwath, that, that we get the hell up out of here on the first go around, Let me get Revelation. Revelation chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, and it says, alright, actually let me start at verse 8. Revelation chapter 3, verse 8, and it says, I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and has not denied my name. So we have very little strength. We're tired, we're wore out, but we have not denied the name of the Lord. And Lord willing, that be us. Talking about us men out here on the highways and byways, as well as the sincere believers that believing on this testimony, that the Lord has a door open for us, and no other man can shut it. Verse 9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. So the elites, the Amalekites, who are descendants of Amalek, Edom's grandson, the ones that are in rulership right now, the small hats, the JOOs, the Lord's going to come and make them worship before our feet, to know that we are the ones, we are the people, not them. Okay, that the Lord's been dealing with us the whole time. He's going to make an example out of Amalek. He's going to show the whole world that, hey, these people right here, these small hats, the ones with these frizzy ass pigtails down the side of their face, these people are frauds. These are not my people. Verse 9, and it says, verse 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. And this word world goes back to the Greek word oikomene, which means everybody. The whole world is going to feel this judgment. Okay, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. Verse 11, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So, hold on to this for dear life, because this is what's going to keep you, if you've been diligent in your studies, and you've been, rehearsing the righteous acts, and you got this truth, fresh in your mind, instilled into your spirit, man, having these laws, statutes, and commandments written in your inward parts, you're, doing the diligent study. That's part of having, this righteousness put into your inward parts, and if you have that with you and you're deeply rooted into this, then you're gonna fare well. You're gonna fare better than most during that time in Jacob's trouble. Okay? You're gonna be far ahead of the game. So, let's see. Okay, this is going to be Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, and it says, actually, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the power. 7, and the peace of the Most High, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Hamashiach Yahushai. Verse 8, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Okay? So keep your mind stayed on the good things, on the things that are honest, pure, and and righteous. Okay? Think about what's truly right. Verse 9, those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the power of peace shall be with you. Okay? So, take what you have learned, seen, and heard, and put it into play. Practice what you preach. Okay. Practice how you would play. Okay. So that's part of rehearsing the righteous acts, man. Train your mind train your spirit and your mind in these scriptures, so that way when the time comes, you'll be that justified righteous man of faith. Okay, and people are going to see that you have that light about you, and people are going to follow you. It's like they're going to be looking at you like, what's going on with this guy? Why is all this shit happening to us, but him, he just seems he seems all right. And that's going to happen. People are going to be looking at you to be a leader. They're gonna be looking at you for answers. They're gonna be looking at you like, well, you know what? If the Lord is dealing with this guy, if this guy has something that we don't, if we can't beat him, join him. And of course, amongst those crowds, you're gonna have those jealous types that are gonna try to do whatever they can to slander you, to shame you, because they're jealous because nobody's listening to them and nobody's following them. Okay? Because they want to be that guy. They want to be that person that everybody can look to. Okay? Forget it. Okay? The men of the Lord, those that have kept the faith and have not denied the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, those are the men that people are going to look to for guidance and for rulership, The men that have taken this book and made it a part of their lives. Okay? So I hope this was an edifying camp unto the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. Like I said, you 2/3, man, you Israelites out there, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds that are amongst these other nations, and you know that you're an Israelite because in your spirit, you know that this testimony holds true. Repent. That's all I gotta say. Just repent, turn away from your worldly life, and start building upon your spiritual life. Okay? Build upon your walk with the Lord. Okay? Because think of Jacob's trouble as being like that, I hate to put it like this, but think of it as like that final, what is it not orientation, but the job interview, I guess you could say. Because, as the scriptures say, we all must come, for we all must come forth before the judgment seat, roughly paraphrasing. So we all have to answer for what we've done, all of us. The elect, the hopeful elect, the 2/3. We all have to answer for everything. Everybody. Okay? So, for everything that we've done, there's gonna be a price to pay. But at the end of the day, Lord willing that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai be with us, that we get up out of here. Okay? Because that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for mercy and salvation, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai right now is pissed. And we all hope that, in fact, let me see something. I think it was Psalms, what was it? Psalms. And I just read it too last night. Let me see if I could find it. The pages are not working with me right now. Okay, let me see which one it was. Oh, there we go. Psalms 110 and Psalms 110:3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy young. Okay? So, in that day, our people shall be willing. Okay? In that day. So, Lord willing that, we are those men and we get that spiritual power. Our people are going to finally wake up and realize that, okay, these were the people that the Lord was dealing with the whole time. Okay, because the Lord is going to renew our strength. He's going to give us that power to fight against our enemies, to destroy them, and save other members of the elect, of the 1/3. Okay? You're going to see it. The Lord is going to perform a work that a man, even though you won't believe it, but a man told it to you. So, with that being said, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise, facing the east, to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. I'd like to give double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Give peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat of the Bodah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Okay, see you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom, Barakatam.